ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुविज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेशतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 83, verse number 9. So this is a description of dialogue between Draupadi and wives of Sri Krishna. Draupadi met the queens and then she asked them that how they got married. She wanted to hear the story from them. So we heard about Rukmani and then we heard the next one was the Rukmani was done. So the next one is Satyabhama. Sri Satyabhama uvacha यो मे सनाभवद तप्त हृदा ततेन लिप्ताभिशापमपमार्ष्टुपजहार जित्वार्क्षराजमथ रत्नमदात् सतेन भीतः पितादिशत् मां प्रभुवेऽपि दत्ताम्। So Satyabhama is speaking about the story how his father Śrīmad-Bhāgavata was very distressed when his brother Prasenjit was killed. So this is the whole story about Samantakmani, that Samantakmani, Satyabhama's father had that, Satrajit. He got it from the sun god by worship. And he once went and showed it to Ugrasena. Then Krishna suggested that he should give it to him because he is the king. But Satrajit did not do that. Later on, once his brother Prasenjit went to forest wearing the money and he was killed by a lion. And money was not found there. So Satrajit thought that he has been killed by Krishna because he wanted the money, this gem, Samantakmani. So therefore he says, Yome sanabhi vada tapta hrida tatena. That by my father who was distressed by the death of his brother, lipta abhishapam apamarshtamajahara. So he was criticizing Krishna. So Krishna, to remove the stain on his name, because he has not done it, then he went in search of it and he saw that he has been killed by a lion. He traced the footprints which led to, because the lion was then killed by Jambavan. And then he went to the cave and there was a fight. So Jitva Aksharajpatam Patharatna Vadat Satena Bhita. So then he came back and he got the gem and returned it. So Jitva Aksharajpatam, fighting with Raksharaj Jambavan, he gave the money back to Satrajit. So now then Satrajit realized that he made a mistake by criticizing Krishna, because he understood that he has not done it and his brother was killed by a lion. So then he became afraid that he made a big mistake. So out of fear and to remove that effect of offense that he has committed, he offered the gem along with his daughter Satyabhama to Krishna. So therefore it says, Bhita pitadishat mam prabhavepi dattam. That although I was already betrothed to someone else, or it was already planned that he will be given to someone else, but still he married her. She will be given to someone else. He married her to Krishna. Sanabha is bhratu. Sanabher bhratu prasenasya vadhena taptam hritam yasya. One who was distressed at the death of his brother Prasenjit. Tena taten, by that father, the word tatena should have been tatena, not tatena. Hetuna liptam abhishapam kalankam. So because Krishna had this stain on his name, so to remove that apmarastum parihartum, he went and he fought with Jambavan. Rikshrajam jitva ratnam samantakopjahara anitvan. So he conquered over Jambavan and got the money back. Athanantram matpitra ratnam adat. Then he gave it to her father, Satrajit. Tena swapradhena bhita same pita prabhe yasmai Sri Krishna mamadishat. Then being afraid of this offense, because he unnecessarily has blamed Krishna for this, so he offered Satyabhama in marriage. Annasmai datum pratishrutam, although the plan was to marry her to someone else. Sri Jambavati uvacha, then Jambavati spoke. Pragyade kridamam mamum nijnatha deva sitapatim trinavahana yamuna abhyayudhyat gyatva parikshata upaharadarhanam mam padau pravihya maninaham amushya dasi. So Jambavati is daughter of Jambavan, with whom Krishna fought. So he says, not knowing that his own Lord Ramchandra has come now in the form of Sri Krishna. So then Jambavan fought with him for 27 days. Trinavahani amuna abhyudhyat. And then after 27 days, when he could not defeat him, then he could understand, he could recognize him. So Parikshita Gyatva, knowing that he is actually Lord Ramchandra himself. So Upaharadarhanam Mam Pado Pragriya. Then he fell at his feet, the feet of Sri Krishna, and gave me in marriage to him, along with the gem. So Manina Ahamanusya Dasi. So I am his servant. Dehakrit matpita amam nijnathascha sau devam ishwarascha tam pragyaya vidyaya. My father, not knowing Sri Krishna as his own very Lord, Sri Ramchandra, he fought with him. Tri Navahani Vishwas Chandanurodhena. So this 3 Navahani, it should have been 3 Navahani. So because of the Chanda it is short. Saptavinshti Dinani Yamuna Sah Abhyayudhyat. For 27 days they fought. Tatasya Parikshita Pariksham Sanjata. And then he was able to understand that this person cannot be any human being, because nobody could fight with Jambavan for 27 days. Yasya sasipata patireva asaviti gyatva pada pragriya. So he understood that he is Ramchandra, the husband of Sita. Then Jambavan fell at the feet of Sri Krishna, and along with the Syamantakmani he gave Jambavati also in marriage. Aho tarhi tvam puravritta katha swasmabhisrutchari Rama avataropatpanna. So now Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti is adding something extra here. So now the Draupadi is saying that, oh, that means you are very old, you are from the time of previous Yuga. Because Jambavan was with Ramchandra. So Puravrit Katha, so Asmabhisrutchari Rama Avatara Utpanna. So among us you are the Srutchari. You are one of those sages from the old time. Sri Rama Datum Pratishruta Tenek Patnirvadharena Tadanim Nasvikrita. Says that actually your father wanted to marry you to Ramchandra, but Ramchandra had the vow of having only one wife and not two. So therefore he did not marry. But now he has come as Krishna, who can have as many wives, no problem. So Bahupatni Vradharena Teneva Anena Svikrita. So now Krishna, who is Rama himself, has accepted me. Tasmat Tvamati Sreshthasi iti salajja maha amushadasit. So when She was told like this, she became bashful and she said that I am only his maid servant, Amsha Dasi. Then next is Kalindi, Sri Kalindi Uvacha. Tapascharanti magyaya svam padasparshanashaya sakshopetya grihit panim yoham tadgrihamarjani. Sri Kalindi said that I was performing austerities to have the touch of Sri Krishna's feet. So when Sri Krishna came to know this, he came along with his friend Arjuna to me and accepted me, and I am like a broom in his house. Tadgriha Marjani. So she is the shortest in telling that story. Sakhya Arjunena. Sakhya means Arjuna. Then Sri Mitra Vinda Uvacha. It's mentioned in the book as Bhadra Uvacha. It should be Mitra Vinda. Yamam Swamvaram Upetya Vijitya Bhupan Ninne Swayutha Gamivatma Balim Dviparihi Bhratrisya me apkuruta Swapuram Shriyoka Tasyastu me Anubhavamanghriyam Ejanatvam. So Mitravinda says that I was married by Krishna, who came to my Swamvar ceremony where it was planned that I will select my husband. So he conquered all the kings there and took me away just like a lion takes his share from the midst of the pack of dogs. Swayutham gamitva atmabalim dvipari. And even my brother was not in favor, but Krishna did not care and brought me to Dwarka, Swapuram Shriyoka, which is the city of opulence. And Tasyastu me anubhavam angri avune jaltam. And I am just like the foot wash from his feet. This is my great fortune. Suna yuthagatam swabalim dvipari singhayvati me bhratuscha apakurto apkaram kuruto vijitya sriyoko lakshmi nivasa tasya angri avnejatvam charan chalan kartritvam anubhavam pratijanma me astu. So just giving the meaning of the sloka, that he took me away as a lion takes his share from the midst of the dogs. And even my brother was trying to resist, but Krishna conquered everybody and brought me to Dwarka, which is residence of Lakshmi. And I only want that let me have the fortune to be like a foot wash from his feet. Okay, I read the wrong commentary. Sunayuthagatam, it's almost same actually, there is nothing different. That was Sridhar Swami, but Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary is practically same. Sri Satya Vacha, when Satya Devi said, Sapto kshanoti balvirya sutikshna shringan pitra kritan kshitipavirya parikshanaya tan vir durmadhanastarasa nigrihya kridan babandha yatha shishvo jatokan. My father has arranged for 7 bulls who were very powerful and who had very sharp horns to test the valor and strength of anyone who wants to marry me. So anybody who wants to marry me has to subdue these 7 bulls simultaneously, not one by one, but they're all together. So no one was able to do that because these bulls were very powerful and they smashed the pride of many heroes, Veera Durmada. But Krishna came and very quickly he subdued them, just like one will control the baby children or goat babies.
Babaji, this is same as Nagnajiti. Same. She has another name called Satya.
Yeah, it is Nagnajiti. Some of these names are printed wrongly here. So Sapta Ukshana Vrishbhan me Pitra Kirtan Baliya se Varaye Mam Datum Sampaditan. So he has arranged for 7 bulls. So anyone who can control them. Viranam Durmadam Ghananti Tan Nigrahi. And they destroyed the pride of many heroes because they were so uncontrollable. But Krishna Nigrihya Damyatva Kridananayasainev Astokan Chagbalkan. But Sri Krishna easily subdued them just as one would control the goat babies. So Nagnajiti is because the father's name is Nagnajita. So like Draupadi, her name was Yagyasaini. But she's called Draupadi because of father being Drupada, so like that. Yaitam vira sulkam mam dasi bhis chaturanginim pathi nirjitya rajanyan ninye tad dasamastu me. So one who paid the price of valor to marry me, he brought me after conquering all other Kshatriyas who came to fight at that time. So along with many maidservants and army of Chaturangani, elephants, horses, infantry and chariots. So let me have servitorship to him in every birth. Viryameva shulkam yasyam tam mam dashivi sahitam chaturang sena sahitam swapuram ninde. The price for me was the valor, and he brought me to his city along with maidservants and army containing elephants, cavaliers, infantry and chariots. Then is Bhadra, though it is written there as Mitravrinda. Pita me matuleyaye swayam ahuya dattavan Krishne krishnaya tachittam akshahinya sakhi janai asya me pada sansparsho bhavet janmani karambhir brahmyamanayam yena tachreya atmanaha. So Bhadra's story is the simple one. So her mother is Krishna's father's sister. So Krishna is son of maternal uncle. So says that my father, he himself called Krishna and offered me in marriage. Krishna Krishnaya Tachittam Akshahinya Sakhi Jani. Because my father knew that I was fixed on marrying him. So therefore he married me. And then he gave one Akshoni of army along with many maidservants. And my wish is that let me always have contact with his feet, birth after birth, while I am wandering by my karma in this material world. And this will be most auspicious for me. So Matul Putraya Krishnaya. Matul Putraya, Matulaya means Krishna. Krishna he Draupadi. And Krishna here is, Draupadi is one of name was also Krishna. So she is calling him, her as Draupadi as Krishna. Karambhir Narlilataya Swadanyukti Tatprasiddha. So although she is eternal queen of Krishna, but she is out of humility, she is talking as if she is an ordinary person. Therefore she is saying that while I wander here in the material world and take many births, let me always have Krishna's feet as my shelter. Then the next story is of Lakshmana, and she tells the longest story. Sri Lakshmana Uvacha Mamapi Ragyachyuta Janma Karma Shrutva Muhur Narad Gitamasaha Chittam Mukunda Kilpadma Hastaya Vrita Sansmrisha Vihaya Lokapan. So Sri Lakshmana said that I have also heard, O Queen, about the birth and activities of Sri Krishna from Narada many times, and therefore my mind was set on Mukunda Sri Krishna and I, who is Padmahasta, or Padmahasta is Lakshmi, who is chosen by Hastam Lakshmi, I chose him Susansmrisya Vihaya Lokpan. With proper thinking, I chose only him and giving up all other kings. Lokpan. He Ragi Mukunda Chittam Asit. O Queen Draupadi, my mind was set on Krishna. Atay Padam Hastaya Maya Lokpalan Api Vihaya Mukundaya Vrita. Therefore, rejecting even the protector of the directions, I chose only Sri Krishna as my husband. पुरुषोत्तम प्रभु आपका कुछ है?
मैं यही कहना चाहता था that just all the queens so far, Rukmani had the intense feeling or intense remembrance, and this Lakshmana just came there with that. The rest of them seems like just some accident happened and they got married that way. So her intensity of love was much more for Krishna, and that's my observation for now.
Okay. Good observation. So Lakshmana is continuing to tell her story. Gyatva mam matam sadhvi pita duhitri vatsalaha brihat seneti khyatas tatropaya machikarat. So he says that my father, when he understood my thought process that I want to marry Krishna, so he thought of a means to arrange for that, because he was very affectionate towards me, and his name is Brihatsena. So he arranged how to get Krishna to marry and not anyone else, not upset anybody. Yatha swamvare ragi Matsya parthepsaya kritaha ayam tu bahirachanno drishyate sa jale param. So the father used the same technique which Draupadi's father used in her marriage, that a fish was hung up in the above on the roof, and you have to pierce the eye of the fish while looking in the water. So he says, Yatha swamvare ragi matsya parthepsaya krita. So he says that, O Queen, just as for your marriage, your father, who actually wanted to marry you to Arjuna, arranged for the fish to be hung up and it was seen in the water, my father did the same. But the difference was that in my case the fish was also covered externally, and you have to see the reflection of water. स्वपार्थेप्सया अर्जुन प्राप्ति इच्छया कृता पार्थेषु अपाकृत इति पाठे पार्थस्य Ishno apakrita vruddha. So Drupada actually wanted to marry Draupadi to Arjuna, although he did not even know where Arjuna is. But he arranged, he knew that only he can do such a feat. Because Arjuna is the one who had defeated Drupada. When their education was over and Dronacharya said that in Guru Dakshina you should bring Drupada alive, capture him alive and bring. Nobody could do it because Drupada was a great fighter. So Arjuna is the one who captured him. So since then he was impressed by Arjuna and wanted to marry his daughter with him. So that's why he says Parthepsaya. Tari imam api Arjuna eva kim na avidhyat ityato visheshamaha. So if he used the same techniques, then why is that Arjuna was not able to pierce the fish in case of Lakshmana also? So he says here it was even more difficult than in case of Arjuna. Ayam tu param chanchalo matsya, here the fish was moving and you have to see in the water which was at the root of the pillar and the fish was hung on top of the pillar. So stambha moola gat jala sahita kalashe param kevalam drishyatena tu urdhvamiti anva. So if you see up, you don't see the fish, you only see the reflection in water. Ato drishti radhastad upri cha lakshyam iti krishna vyatirekena na kasyapi bhedyati bhava. So therefore you have to look down and then pierce it. And no one could do it except for Krishna. Tena tvat Krikrito matsya khalu bahirachanno api stambha sanlagnya urdha drishtya sanlakshate eva. So in your case, although your father also had arranged for the fish like that, but one could see it if one looked up in upwards. But in my case, one could not see it. This was the difference. Tadanusandhana chaturena arjunena sas vidheva. So Arjuna has seen the fish and then he pierced it. But here that was not possible. Srutva etat sarvato bhupa ayurmat pituh puram sarvastra shastratatvagyaha sopadhyaya sahasrasha. So hearing this condition, then thousands and thousands of kings came there who were expert in the art of shooting arrows. And they came along with their teachers to my father's city. Pitra sambhujita sarve yatha virya yata vayaha adadu sasharam chapam vedhum parshadi madhya. So when they came there, my father, he honored all of them according to their status, their wealth, their prowess and their age. And then they got bow and arrow which was kept. They have to use the bow which was kept there, not that they bring you and use their own bow and arrow. So adadu shasharam chapam vedhum parshadi madhya. So these kings who were fixed on marrying me, they took the bow and arrow for piercing the fish. Parshadi sabhayam madhye madhi prapti ashayasam. Parshadi means in the assembly and madhya means those whose minds were fixed on marrying me. Adaya vyasrijan kechit sajjam kartumanishvaraha akoti jam samutkrishya peturaneke manahata. So the king came, and when they came there, they have to first string the bow. So the bow is kept, but it is not stringed. So you have to pull, you have to bend it, put the string and then use it. So some people were not able to string it, and therefore they dropped the bow and went away. And then there were others who tried to string it, but when they were stringing, they got the kick back and they fell down and got hurt. So akoti chapasya agraparyantam jyam samutkrishyani tatra nidhatum ashakta amuna chapena hata. So trying to tie the string to the end, they have to pull it, but they got hit by the bow and fell down. So that's the only thing they could get. Sajyam kritva pare vira magadam bhashta chedipaha bhimo duryodhana karno navindas tadavasthitim. Then there were other heroic people who were able to string the bow. So many of the kings, they could not even string the bow, let alone trying to pierce it. But those who were able to string it, among them there was Jarasandha, Ambashta, Shishupal, Bhima. Bhima also went, Duryodhana, Karna. So they were all physically very strong people also, they could do it, but they could not pierce the fish. Ambashta Deshadipati. Ambashta is the king of Ambashta country. Tadavasthitim navindaniti. So they were not able to touch the fish. Magdhadinam kriya shakti reva netu laksha bhigyata. So they were very good, physically powerful, so they were able to put the string, but they were not good in archery. Although Karna is very expert, but even he failed. Matsya bhasam jale viksha gyatva cha tadavasthitim partho yatto asrijadbana nachinatta pasparshe param. Then Arjuna came. He also stringed the bow. He looked the fish in the water and then he shot the arrow. So he was able to touch the fish but not pierce it. That's all. So he is the only one who came closest. Nachinat pasparshe param. Although he touched it but could not pierce. Matsya bhasam chayam viksha. So Matsya bhasam means the shadow which was like the fish. Visheshena mahaviniveshena muhurikshitva. And he concentrated, repeatedly saying, and yatna then he made the effort. Kevalam pasparsha tadek deshe eva natutan madhya deshe. Ban sanyogat. So he was able to touch to the side of the fish, but not pierce in the center. Sparsh jnanam tu jnanasya tat sangharshana chinnhat lakshabhijnanavatve api tadrig balabhava devana tachedeti kechida. So how do you know that he was able to touch? Because it made a mark on the side. So although he was expert in piercing the aim, he was very good at that, but he did not have the strength to pierce it. This is the explanation some have given. Rajanyesu nivritteshu bhagnamaneshu manishu Bhagavan dhanuradaya sajjam kritvat leelaya. So when everybody failed, then the big boss came. Finally, he was watching, but he said that let them try, no problem. So when everyone tried and their pride was smashed, Bhagnamaneshu Maneshu, no one was there to try again. Then Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he came and he took the bow and very easily he stringed it. Then Tasmin Sandhaya Vishikham Matsyam Bhiksha Sakrit Jale Chitvaishuna Patiyat Surya Cha Bhijiti Sthite. So at that time he put the arrow on the bow and he looked only once in the water and then he shot the arrow into the fish and it fell down. And this was when the sun was in the Abhijit Muhurta. Swabhijite madhyane iti tathacha matsya parishurya iti ati durlakshatva iti bhava. Swabhijit Muhurta starts something like, I think, like 15 or 20 minutes before 12 o'clock and goes for another 24 minutes before and 24 minutes after, 48 minutes around noon time. That is called Abhijit. So Vishwanath Chakravarti comments that at that time the sun is completely on top, so it was more difficult to look at it because then the sun is there if you look up. But still he did it. That's the significance of mentioning that it was Abhijit Muhurta. Divi Dundabhayo Nedur Jai Shabdayuta Bhuvi Devascha Kushma Saran Mumuchur Harsh Vivalaha. So at that time there was sound of drums in the sky, and on earth everybody was saying Jai Jai, all glories, all glories. And the Devas in the heaven were very happy, so they showered flowers on Sri Krishna. And then Lakshmana came. So she is really giving many details. Nobody else gave that much detail, they just said one or two slokas. But he probably has, being last one, has more time. So now she describes how she came onto the scene. Tadrangamavishamaham kalanupurabhyam padbhyam praghriya kanakojvala ratnamalam nutne niviya paridhaya cha kaushikagre shabridhara vadana kabri bhritashrak. She is describing herself, how she came at that time, because the system is that whoever wins the condition or satisfies the condition, then the girl will come and garland him. Means she chooses him the husband. So says Tadrangam Avisham. At that time I entered onto the stage Kalanu Purabhyam Padbhyam. And when I was walking, my feet were making that chum chum sound, right? Because I had the anklets on my feet, Kalanu Purabhyam. So beautiful sound. And Pragrihiya Kanakojvala Ratnamalam. And I had a golden garland studded with various gems in my hand. And Nutne Niviya Paridhaya cha Kaushikagre. And I was dressed in a very beautiful new silk dress. And Savridha Hara Vadana Kabri Bhritashrak. I was shy and I had necklace, my neck, and there was kabari. Kabari, you know? Kabari is the flowers. They make that bread with flowers. So kabari bhritashrak with garland. चुटिया बोलते हैं ना, चोटी बांधते हैं पीछे, स्त्री बांधती है ना पहले, साथ में.
In Gujarati we call it vani.
Yes, Veni. Veni Samhar. There is a play called Veni Samhar. So it's kabari. So tatkala bhavam swaharsam smaranti. Tatkal bhavam swaharsam smaranti. So she was, because she was so happy at that time that Krishna was able to do it, she is remembering that time. It is fresh in memory. Something which is very good in your life, you remember that, right? So that's why tadatvikam swamvaranam swasya varnayantya. So what happened at that time, she is remembering and describing. Tadrangam iti dvabhyam, in 2 slokas. Tat tada kalau kalasvanau nupurau yayo. At that time my nupuras, the anklets, were making that beautiful sound. Tabhyam kaushikagre uttam kaushaya vastre. And I had kaushaya means silk dress. Nivive pravritya paridhaya, tied around my waist. So I came there. And then one more sloka, she speaks about it. Unniya vaktra guru kuntala kundalatvig gandasthala shishirahasa kataksha mokshay ragyo niriksha parita shanakai murarer namse nurakta hridaya nidadhe samalam. So at that time I lift my face up, which was covered by the curly hair and earrings touching my cheeks, Gandasthal, and Shishirahasa Kataksha Mokshay. And I had a beautiful smile on my face, and I was throwing apanga, side glances, looking at the kings. And Ragyo Niriksha Parita, I looked around all the kings who were all sitting there, looking also at her. She was the center of attraction for everybody. And then slowly I reached to Krishna and put the garland on his neck. Anurakta Hridaya. My heart was full of love. Nidadhe Swamalam, my garland which I had, I put on him. Tatkalikam atiharshotham matsaundaryam anyad eva asititya. At that time my beauty, which was because of not only that I was beautiful, but because of my happiness, was very extraordinary. So that is what she is describing. Unniyati Uru Kuntalanam. There were big locks of hair. Karna Samipastha Churna Kuntalanam, coming near my ears. And Kundalayoscha, and there were also big earrings hanging from my ears. Tvisho Yayos Tatha Bhute Gandasthale. They were very shiny and they were touching my cheeks. Tavan mridang pataha sankha bhairyanakadaya ninedur nartakyo nandritu gayaka jago. So as soon as she put the garland in Krishna's neck, then there was a big drum playing music and conches were blown, and there were dancers who started dancing, and the singers began singing, because that was the most auspicious moment. So these days also, when they have the garland ceremony like that in the villages, they shoot guns. And sometimes the accident also happens. Yeah. So that's the marriage. Evam brite bhagavati maya ishe nripayuthapaha nase hire yagyaseni spardhanto hichayatura. So in this way, when I have selected Sri Krishna as my husband, then all these kings who had assembled there, they were unable to tolerate Draupadi. And then, because they were very much attracted to me, so they started vying for me. Obviously, if their minds were fixed, then they could not see this, that they are not getting her. So Yagyaseni, Draupadi. Yagyaseni means Draupadi. Spardhanta, Spardhamana means vying, fighting. Bhiru svabhavam mam dvabhyam bhujabhyam alingya dvabhyam dhanubhanu gritva chaturbhujastastha. So mam tavadratham aropya hayratna chatushtayam sarangamudyamya sannadha stasthav ajau chaturbhuja. So then Krishna, what he did, that he put me onto the chariot, and the chariot which was yoked with 4 wonderful horses. And at that time Krishna, he stood up there taking his saranga bow in his hand, ready to fight, and he has put on the armor. And he had 4 arms at that time. So with 2 arms he was holding her, and 2 arms he was holding the bow to fight. So bhiru svabhavam mam dvabhyam bhujam alingya. Because I was scared, so he was consoling me with 2 arms, and dvabhyam dhanubhanu grihitva. And with 2 he had bow and arrow in his hands, and that's how he manifested 4 arms. Darukaschodayamasa kanchanopaskaram ratham nistam bhujam ragi mriganam mrigradiva. And at that time Daruka, he started the chariot which was made of gold and very well decorated. So then all these kings, they were looking, and Krishna, he was moving away from them like a lion, taking the share from the flock of deers. Mriganam mrigradiva. So mistam mriganam mrigradiva hari jagamiti says. So just as these kings were just watching, they could not do anything. And like the deers, they only watch, and lion takes away somebody else, one deer. They cannot do anything. Mistam iti anadara shashti. So mistam is in the 6th case instead of 7th. So it is used in this regard, that he did not care for these kings. Ten sajjanta rajanya nishedhum pathi kechana sanyatta udhruteshvasa gram singha yathaharim. So then some of these kings, they tried to obstruct Krishna on the way, and therefore they came prepared, holding bow and arrow in their hands. But it was just like some dogs try to stop a lion. Nothing more than that. Anusajjanta prashtha shakta babhu. So anusajjanta means that they try to stop from the behind, running behind. Uddhetu asham gram singapi adbhut puchha bhavanti. So they had their armor and bow and arrow all ready to fight. But it was just like lion is going and the dogs running behind with their tail up in the air. That's how they were coming. Nothing more than that. So there is nothing much they could do. Teshrang chutabhan oghai kritta bahangri kandhara nipatu pradhane kechid eke santajya dadru. So when they were trying to chase and trying to stop, then Krishna shot arrows from his Sranga bow, and with that he cut their arms, thighs, shoulders, necks, and they all fell in the battlefield. And some of them gave up the battle and they ran away from the place. Santacha pradhanam vihaya. So they left the battlefield and just scooted from there. Tata puri yadupatiratyalankritam ravichhadadhvaja patachitra toranam kusasthalim devi bhuvi chabhisanstutam samavishattarni svaketanam. So thereafter, the chief of the Yadavas, Sri Krishna, entered his own city, Dwarkapuri, just like sun goes to the west. There is no doubt about it that on earth as well as in heaven, this Dwarka is praised. When I first entered into it, it was a very special day because it was decorated very nicely. There were festoons, toranas, flags, and these patakas, dhwajas, flags, etc. There were so many that the light of the sun was not coming to the earth. So Ravi Chadadhvaja Patachitra Toranam Kusasthali Bhuvicha Visanyita. So Ravim Chadayanti Ravichhada Dhvajesu Patayasya. So Ravichhada means that which covers the sun, the flags. Chitrani Toranani Yasyam Sacha Sachatam. And there are various types of gates which are made. Toranas means festoon, etc. for to decorate. Pita me pujyamasa sruit sambandhi bandhavan Maharvaso alankara sayyasana parichhadai Dasi bhi sarv sampadbhir bhatair ibharatha baji bhi ayudhani maharahani dadau punasya bhaktita. And my father, he worshipped Krishna along with his relatives, friends and associates, gave them very ornate ornaments, cloths, dresses, seats, thrones, beds, maidservants, and all types of wealth with elephants, chariots, horses, weapons, and a lot of wealth. And all this he gave with great devotion. So many things out of love for Bhagwan, father of Lakshmana gave to Sri Krishna. So Dasyadibhi sa ayudhani purnayapi dadaviti atra hetur bhaktita iti. Although Krishna does not need anything, he is complete in himself, but still he gave all this because of devotion. Bhaktya patradi namapi tena grahyatvat. And Krishna says that if someone brings anything with devotion, Even if a leaf or water, I accept it. So I accepted everything. Atmaramasya tasyema vayam vai grihadasikaha sarvasanga nivrityadha tapsa cha babhuvime. So Krishna is Atmarama, he is pleased in himself, and now we are like maid servants of Sri Krishna in this life, and we have no other attachment. Sarvasanga nivrityadha. We have performed some austerity in the past lives, so we are able to get this position. So again, this is out of humility, he speaks like that. एवमे आवेशेन आत्मानं बहुवर्णित्वा सलज्जा इव सर्वा स्वज्येष्ठा रुक्मण्यादयः संतोषयन्ति उपसंहर्ति आत्मारामस्य. So in this way, Lakshmana, being absorbed in this story, spoke more than anyone else. But then she became bashful, thinking, why I am speaking so much. So therefore she includes all of them and then speaks this verse. Anyasya anya bharya evamum vayam ashto eta vashikartum na prabhvam iti bhava. So as he, Krishna is Atma Rama, therefore it is not possible to control him as wife can control the husband. Vinaya bharena dhanyadeva vastuta tapi hladani shaktitvad atmabhuta premna tam vasi chakra. She is speaking this out of humility, otherwise they are all hladani shakti of Krishna and they also control him. But she speaks out of vinamrita.